Part two, I accidentally shut that off. A lot of people don't realize that it's wonderful that we can pick the good out of things. That sometimes in my life, I'll speak for, I realized that being a young mother taught me so much. It gave me something that God knew. It's a family that will adore you and love you, and if they don't, you will strive to change, to remove things that would keep you in a place of not being positive. So being positive is always what you want, but you need the negative, like a battery in a car, to run, to keep going. Admit those things. I try not to be too critical and forceful, but when I see people that are young that say that if they get pregnant, they need to kill the baby because it wouldn't be good, it's not a fetus. I have to go back to my story, my journey in my life, that it could possibly be different than yours, and that your perspective is not even a perspective if you haven't even experienced it. I'm open to admit I haven't experienced things. I have a lot of respect for parents that have buried their children, that have passed away from either drugs, suicide, you name it. I have that compassion, and when that compassion hits, guess what you do? You be quiet. You listen. You learn. For those of you that think, well, Miss Cool, she's not very quiet, there are times I'm very quiet, and I listen. And I listen with my heart, because you know your heart can tell you and reveal things. So today, with the world the way it is and things are going, stand for what you are. Believe in things that are of truth. If they're not of truth, then you feel more comfortable judging the whole world by, say, for example, we'll go with Halloween. Is it a pagan holiday? Yeah, it is. Do we want to scare children? Absolutely not. Does that affect my journey? Yeah, it does. So I'm able to judge that. I can come up with the conclusion that what I saw as a child and it scared me and I had fear and I ran, and it's still here. It's right here in my conscience. I was at my grandmother's house in Pasadena, California, and I went home and I walked by myself. I must have been about, maybe 7 or 8 years old. And I saw in the dirt, which they still do today everywhere, people think it's real funny. They'll take a pair of pants and boots and they'll stuff them with something, material, newspapers, I don't know, something that would make them stand right up from the waist up with boots on in the dirt. When you see something like that as a child, it caused fear. I ran. Yes, Halloween's not good for me, although I've celebrated it a few times in my life. I thought, do I go with the crowd? Do I listen to others? Do I accept transgenders? Do I accept a woman not being a woman? Do I accept the fact that some women are just basically just really have the wrong idea about my opinions of what a male and a female are, just like Halloween? Do I join them? Or can I stand up for who I am? Do I need to be ashamed when someone says, oh, it's just a holiday with bloody knives and scary things and haunted houses with ambulances, outside in case someone has a heart attack? Is that your thrill? Could it not be mine? That's not to say I would be bullied and say, well, why don't you believe in Halloween? Why don't you believe that, you can change your born identity, DNA, gender? Well, because I don't. But let me tell you what, you might want to step away from that with what's going on today and just kind of know in your heart when you can talk, when you can't, and just kind of move along slowly, just like you do in traffic. You don't want to drive too fast because you can't really put the brakes on real quick. So put the brakes on. Understand that people do have the right to their freedom. But right now there's a big movement. It's huge. And I like it. Not because I'm like, oh, we're winning. But that people actually right now in the world are stepping out and able to say, look, just because I'm a different faith, we still can connect. Being that they believe in the Bible or good things or America. I have a lot of friends. Well, they're friends, but I love them and they have great quality. But as far as being a patriot or patriotic or not loving this country and having always something to say about this country, those people, I either can choose to say I'm proud to be an American. I can either choose to say I'm proud to wear a cross. Of course, everybody that wears a cross isn't a Christian. Of course, everybody that wears a cross doesn't have a testimony or have a reason that matches, but for the majority, it does. For the majority, the Bible teaches the same thing. For the majority, it's a standard that would be good and benefit. As far as the Old Testament goes, any killings, any wars, Gideon, different things like that, what we can do is realize and always know that everybody has a different interpretation, but the interpretation that you will receive could be in a communication in a group that lets you talk, that doesn't just disown you because you were once friends and you chose Trump, that doesn't disown you just because you grew up different than them, that you can actually come together. I'm not saying you got to sit down and have a conversation with everybody because I dislike it as well. That's a very hard thing, but usually the things that are hard and the conversations that are uncomfortable, you might want to have. It's Miss Cool coming on here talking about the world today and just praying for everyone and having an openness to learning. Can we learn? I think we can. You know, if you want to believe in God, you actually don't even need a Bible. But when you do, and you find that interesting or having an encounter, of course you might want to read the Bible. Of course you might want to seek other truths instead of just going with the group that you're involved with saying, we never want to do that. We don't want to take part in that. We got something to say. Well, how about you being quiet for a change and talking to somebody that has a different opinion without getting upset, without ignoring them, without, I actually know when to dismiss myself because it will be to my benefit. I have family members that have treated me that way. I have people that I've known that have changed. So with that, what we do is we just move along, but have a safe place within yourself that's confident that you've pondered. Remember, you can always make a change. That recipe for that cake, you can change it. You can make it sweeter. You can make it bitter. And I go back to this cake thing. Why? Because you disrupt it. When you get the bowl, when you put everything in there, the chips, the eggs, the flour, the baking powder, anything you want to put in there, maybe a little almond extract, put whatever you want in that batter and disrupt those eggs. Disrupt them, ponder it, think about it. Know what you're doing. Go over it. Wow, I was wrong. I could have been wrong. Maybe I'll listen to them. Do it. It's Miss Cool saying, it's never too late to learn. It's never too late to say, you know what? I had the wrong idea. And since I had the wrong idea, I'm able to take those thoughts, what a woman is, and just push them aside. What God is, push them aside. How other people feel. I've talked to plenty of transgenders. I've talked to plenty of people that are married to women, the same sex, men. I've been out there. I absolutely have. So I can ponder those feelings, know the spirit that's there. Meaning out of body, present with God. A lot of people don't want to hear that. But the thing about it is we have a spirit, we have a soul. And that's what makes us who we are. Have you ever met somebody that was, maybe not recognized for their beauty, recognized for their intelligence, recognized for their body count, weight, whatever it is? Body count meaning like maybe they've been out in the world and had a lot of sex with a lot of people, which is probably most people are going to say, Miss Gold, is that your business? Well, they could come at you and you do need to prepare what's in the cake. Can I hold back on certain salt? Of course I can. But yeah, they're talking a lot about right now triggers. So are you triggered easily? Can you sit down and have an uncomfortable conversation? I can. And it's taken a lot of control not to react. But how are you going to ever know if you're going to react or not react unless you're in it? So I guess that's why we need the people we have in our life, the love, the experience, the feelings, and to have the freedom to be who you are, and support people that are shy, or they feel your voice, or they feel your thoughts, but they're afraid and needs a helping hand. My helping hand is to a child that's not born, that would be aborted because of different things. It's going to be wrong. It's going to be a feeling that is a woman's body, I will agree with. But I have to also agree that there's a story behind the story. And when the story behind the story is also, taken in, like, don't you always want to go a chapter back? Don't you always want to see the story behind the story? Don't you always want to know the whys and the how comes? But if those are your interests, pursue them. I'm going to pursue happiness, self-control, love, and to tell you today that there's two genders. There's a woman and there's a man. And when a beautiful dog, a female dog, is pregnant with about 8 to 9 puppies and gives birth, don't all of us run up and turn them over and say, how many boys and how many girls? It's Miss Cool today saying you'll never be able to milk a bull. And that some of these things that people are saying, like myself right now, don't take them as sarcastic. Take them as who and what is behind that. For some people, it's pretty simple. For others, it's complicated. So today, make a choice, and God bless you today. And God bless Charlie Kirk and the movement that is in the world today. It's worldwide. When it's world, from Russia to London to Paris to the United States of America, I'm proud to be an American today. God bless you.